The rain fell in sheets that night, thick, cold, relentless, drenching the world in a silence only broken by thunder and the distant hum of streetlights flickering in exhaustion. Samir Khan gripped the steering wheel of his old Toyota with one hand, the other reaching back to cover his 7-year-old daughter, Noor, with a blanket. She was sleeping in the back seat, her tiny face peaceful, her small hands clutching her worn-out teddy bear. Had just finished his night shift at the mechanic shop, 12 straight hours of grease, noise, and exhaustion. And all he wanted was to get home, heat some leftover curry, and watch Noor's favorite cartoon before bed. But fate had other plans that night. As he turned onto the empty highway, his headlights cut through the rain, catching something, or rather, someone, stumbling near the roadside. A woman, soaked, barefoot, and barely standing, waving desperately at his car. "Just walk away, idiot," Samir muttered under his breath. "You've got your kid with you." But his foot didn't obey. His car slowed, then stopped. Before we go further, if stories of unexpected kindness and humanity move you, make sure to like this video, drop a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Universe for more real, emotional stories that restore faith in people. Samir stepped out, the rain instantly soaking through his shirt. The woman stumbled toward him, her hair plastered to her face, mascara smeared down her cheeks. She reeked of alcohol. Her designer dress clung to her body like a second skin, and her heels were missing. Please," she slurred. I can't drive anymore. My car's somewhere over there." She pointed toward a luxury sedan crashed halfway into a ditch. Samir sighed, running a hand over his wet hair. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said. She gave a humorless laugh. "Oh, you think I don't know that?" Then she nearly collapsed. He caught her just in time, steadying her against his chest. Her skin was ice cold, her pulse faint. "I'll take you somewhere safe," he said quietly. She shook her head weakly. "No police, please. I'll handle it. Just take me anywhere." Samir hesitated. He looked back at Noor, still asleep in the back seat, and then at the drenched stranger in his arms. His conscience and logic waged war. But kindness, that stubborn, unyielding part of him, won again. He helped her into the front seat, covered her with his jacket, and drove through the storm. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the small window of Samir's modest home. Noor's laughter echoed from the kitchen as she poured cereal with more milk than flakes. The woman from last night, now clean, wearing one of Samir's sister's old shawls, sat silently on the couch, her hands wrapped around a cup of chai. Her eyes scanned the little house, the mismatched furniture, the faded curtains, the photos of a smiling Noor on the walls. It felt warm, real. Something she hadn't felt in years. Samir emerged from the kitchen, wiping his hands on a towel. "You're awake. Feeling better?" The woman nodded slowly, guilt flickering in her eyes. I owe you an apology. And a thank you." He shrugged. "You don't owe me anything. You just needed help." There was something about the way he said it, not with pity, not with pride, just quiet sincerity, that made her chest tighten. "My name's Zara," she said finally. "Zara Malik." Samir froze for a split second. He knew that name. Everyone did. Zara Malik, CEO of Malik International, one of the biggest companies in the country. The woman whose face was on magazine covers, whose quotes filled business articles, whose success stories were shared as motivation. And last night, she'd nearly died alone in the rain. Zara stared down at her chai, unable to meet his eyes. "You must think I'm pathetic." Samir leaned against the table. "No, I think you're human." That response hit her harder than any headline or criticism ever had. For a while, silence filled the room. Noor climbed onto the couch beside Zara, holding out her cereal bowl. "Auntie, do you want some?" Zara blinked, then smiled for the first time. "No thank you, sweetheart, you eat." The innocence in Noor's eyes made something break inside her. When had her life become so cold, so empty, that kindness from a child felt foreign? By noon, Zara insisted on calling her assistant to pick her up, but when the sleek black car arrived outside, she hesitated at the door. "Samir," she began softly, "you didn't ask for anything. Most people would have taken a photo, sold it to the tabloids, or demanded money." He smiled faintly. "My daughter looks up to me. I want her to grow up believing in good people. That's worth more than your money." Zara swallowed hard. "You're a good man, Samir Khan." He shrugged again, like it wasn't a big deal. "Try to get some rest. And maybe stay away from the bottle for a while." For a woman who commanded boardrooms with a glance, his quiet honesty disarmed her completely. She left, but she couldn't stop thinking about him. Days passed. Samir went back to his routine, fixing cars, helping neighbors, raising Noor. Life was simple, exhausting, but beautiful in its small ways. Until one morning, a sleek SUV pulled up outside his workshop. Out stepped Zara in a crisp white suit, sunglasses, and her signature confidence. But her eyes still held the memory of that night. "Morning," she greeted. "Ah, Miss Malik." He wiped his hands, confused. "What brings you here?" She smiled. "You saved my life. I wanted to return the favor. I told you, you don't owe me anything." "Maybe not," she said, stepping closer. "But I want to." She offered him an envelope. Inside was a job offer. A position at her company's automotive department, triple what he currently earned. Samir stared at it, speechless. "Why me?" "Because you're honest. You didn't see me as a headline. You saw a person. I need people like that around me." He hesitated. His workshop, his daughter, his quiet life. Could he really trade it all for a corporate world he didn't belong to? Zara noticed his hesitation and smiled gently. "Just think about it, okay?" She turned to leave, but Noor ran up, waving her tiny hand. "But bye, Auntie Zara." For the first time, Zara's smile wasn't the CEO's smile. It was real. "Goodbye, sweetheart." Weeks later, Samir did take the job. Not for money, but for stability, for Noor's future. And over time, he and Zara began to cross paths more often, not as boss and employee, but as two people learning from each other. He taught her about humility, the beauty in ordinary days, and the power of second chances. She showed him that dreams didn't always die with struggle. Sometimes they were reborn from it. Their friendship grew quietly, naturally. And though they never said it aloud, both knew that night in the rain had changed them forever. Zara stopped drinking. She began funding programs for single parents and blue-collar workers, inspired by Samir's story. Samir, on the other hand, built a better life for Noor, teaching her that even the smallest act of kindness could ripple through lives in unimaginable ways. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it. Subscribe to Kindness Universe for more cinematic stories of humanity, redemption, and hope. Years later, when Zara visited Samir and Noor again, this time at their new home, built from the life she'd helped him start, she smiled as Noor ran to greet her, calling out, "Auntie Zara?" And as they sat under the evening sky, sipping tea and laughing about life, Zara glanced at Samir and whispered with a teasing smile, "You should have just walked away that night, idiot." He grinned back. "If I did, none of this would have happened." Their eyes met, full of gratitude, unspoken understanding, and something deeper. Because sometimes the biggest miracles begin the moment you refuse to just walk away.